and maybe a little mixture of everything. If you want me to visit your classroom, email me, classroom@krem.com, and we'll set something up. Now we want to check in with Rose Beltz this morning, who has a little fun. It's always fun when Rose is here because she teaches us something. I learn something every time, Rose.
Thank you, Bren. I appreciate that. So now we're going to a little bit more serious topics. Sorry about that from weather. But 13,000 women per year in the United States are diagnosed with cervical cancer. So this morning I have Dr. Lacey Marks from Rockwood, Multicare Rockwood Health Clinics to talk about this disease and things that we might not know. It's a little confusing. Isn't it a little bit? So I thought we could talk about that today.
It can definitely be a little bit confusing for people. But basically, 90% of cervical cancers are from the HPV virus.
So before we go further, you said 90%, but what is the other 10% that could cause cervical cancer?
The other 10% is kind of a mix of a variety of medical disorders. Most commonly is adenocarcinoma in situ, which is basically disease that develops in a different cell type within the cervix.
Gotcha, thank you, because I don't want to discount HPV, because sometimes I think people tune out a little bit if they hear HPV, but I definitely want to get to that since it is 90%. So let's talk about vaccination.
Sure, so the Gardasil vaccine is now a very widespread used vaccine. The CDC recommends to give it to all girls and boys at about age 11 to 12. It actually can be given as a combined vaccine at the same time as when they're getting their meningitis vaccine and their Tdap vaccine.
So what if you're a little bit older than that? Say if you the vaccine wasn't around when you were a teenager. What are your thoughts on that?
It is approved and has been studied to use all the way up to age 26.
Great, so it will be effective still up to age 26.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And even, the HPV virus is spread through sexual skin-to-skin contact.
Okay.
You don't actually have to have intercourse to get the HPV virus. Even if you've already started to be sexually active and you still haven't got the vaccine, it's okay to get the vaccine later, even after you've started having sex.
Because I think that could be a little bit uncomfortable for parents, but it's something that they need to know to protect their child moving forward.
Yes, exactly.
It will protect them later in life. What you're saying is if they get vaccinated early, because somewhere down the line they will be exposed to the virus in some way, shape, or form. They could be. I think that's really important.
Yeah, and it does not mean that you think your child is going to become promiscuous or anything like that. You're just getting it while they're still at your home, under your roof, getting all of the routine vaccinations for all other reasons.
Sure, thank you for that. I thought that was important. Unfortunately, this uncomfortable conversation. Okay, so let's get to screening real quick for the sake of time.
Yeah, so cervical cancer can be screened by doing screening with your pap smears.
Okay.
As well as for screening for the HPV virus.
Okay.
And it's important, we typically now start screening at about age 21.
Okay.
Would be the first year that you should get your pap smear.
Okay, all right, so we have a little bit more to talk about this as far as screening and if you're a smoker and some good things that we didn't get a chance to cover in this segment. So we're gonna toss to a Facebook Live, but for now, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some top of the stories trending on Twitter this morning in the speed feed.